The sky was burning red as explosions echoed across the battlefield. Human soldiers ran through smoke and fire, shouting orders, searching for survivors. Sergeant Leo Grant moved quickly, his boots sinking into the wet ash of a destroyed outpost. His pulse was steady, even as the ground shook around him. He had seen too many battles to be afraid now, but this one felt different. The enemy had come fast. The Corel, tall alien warriors with armor like stone and blades that burned blue. They didn't take prisoners, and neither did humans. Leo stepped over a broken wall and froze. There in the rubble was a Corel warrior. She was alive, barely blood, dark and shining, dripped from a wound in her side. Her armor was cracked, and one arm hung useless. But her eyes, sharp and yellow, locked on Leo like a wild animal. He raised his blaster, finger on the trigger. "Don't move," he said, voice calm but cold. She didn't. She just stared at him, proud, silent, not afraid. A crowd of soldiers appeared behind him. "Weapons ready," one of them shouted. "Kill her, Sarge. She's not worth saving." Another laughed. "Cut her throat before she cuts ours." Leo didn't answer. He kept staring at the alien warrior. She didn't beg, didn't speak, just waited. Then he did something stupid. He smiled, crooked and tired. "I want you," he joked, the words slipping out like a bitter laugh. The soldiers behind him chuckled, shaking their heads. Typical Leo, always making jokes even in war. But the Krell woman's expression changed. She reached up slowly and with one hand, removed her chest plate, then her shoulder guard. Then the rest of her armor, piece by piece. Everyone went silent. Her skin was marked with glowing patterns and battle scars. Ancient symbols. She stood tall, even injured, and looked Leo in the eyes. "Then take me," she said. Her voice low but clear. Leo's smile vanished. This wasn't a joke anymore. Something had just happened. Something he didn't understand. The other soldiers murmured in confusion. "What did she say? Is she surrendering? Is it a trap?" Leo didn't move. He felt something shift in the air, like a storm coming. Her eyes never left his. Not hateful, not afraid, but waiting. He lowered his blaster, slowly. "What's your name?" he asked. She didn't answer. Corel warriors never shared their names with enemies. It was sacred. A voice crackled in Leo's earpiece. "Grant, report. Do you have a prisoner?" He touched the comm and replied, "Yes, one Corel and female alive." A pause. "Bring her in," came the command. Interrogation at 600. Then disposal. Leo looked back at her. She was still standing. Armor at her feet, blood on her hands. He took off his jacket and tossed it to her. "Put that on," he said quietly. She caught it with one good arm. Slowly, she pulled it over her bare shoulders. The other soldiers didn't understand. "Are you serious?" One asked. "She's the enemy." Another said, "She'd kill us all if she could." Leo didn't argue. He just turned and started walking. "Bring her," he ordered. The Corel woman followed without chains, without protest. She walked beside him like a shadow, silent and calm. Her bare feet touched broken stone, but she didn't flinch. They passed the burning wreckage of machines. Fallen bodies, lost flags, two enemies, now walking side by side. As they reached the outpost gate, a soldier muttered, "Why didn't she fight back?" No one had an answer, but Leo felt something in his chest. Not fear, not guilt, something new, something he didn't want to name yet. He glanced at her. She was watching the stars above, like they were calling her home. And somehow he knew this was only the beginning. The cell was cold and silent. A single light flickered above, casting long shadows on the walls. Sergeant Leo Grant stood outside, arms crossed, watching the alien inside. She sat perfectly still, legs folded beneath her. Her golden eyes closed, even now in chains. She looked proud, no fear, no shame, only silence. Her name was still a mystery. She hadn't spoken since the moment she said, "Then take me." Leo didn't understand her. He didn't know why he didn't shoot. He didn't know why he gave her his jacket. All he knew was something about her felt different. Dangerous, yes, but not evil. Maybe even noble. Behind him, the other soldiers whispered, "She hasn't eaten. She's probably planning something, and just finish her off already." But Leo ignored them. He was thinking about something else. Something strange she had done. When she took off her armor, she had placed each piece carefully on the ground, in a perfect pattern like it meant something. Like a ritual, he walked into the cell. Slowly her eyes opened, calm and sharp. "You're not afraid," he said. "No," she replied simply. Leo sat down across from her. "Why did you surrender?" he asked. She looked at him, her voice steady. "I did not surrender," he frowned. "You took off your armor. You said, 'Take me.'" She nodded once. "I offered you the warrior's bond." "The what now?" "In my culture," she explained, "if a warrior is defeated and she sees honor in her enemy, she may offer herself as a bond companion." Leo blinked, confused. "Like a prisoner?" "No," she said, "like a shield, a blade, a life given to you." Leo let out a slow breath. "So you think you belong to me now?" "I don't think," she said. "I know." He rubbed his face, trying to understand. "This is messed up," he muttered. "I cracked a joke. And now you're acting like we're married." She tilted her head, confused by the word. "Married?" "Never mind," he waved it off. "You're not human." She stared at him. "And you are not Carell." They sat in silence for a moment, then she said, "You have not asked for my name?" "You haven't offered it," he replied. She nodded again. "Among the Carell, a name is a gift. If I give it to you, it means I trust you." Leo leaned forward, curious. "And do you?" She didn't answer, but after a moment she spoke a single word. "Saria." He repeated it, slow and careful. "Saria." Her eyes softened slightly. "You say it well." Just then, the door burst open. 2 officers entered, and a cold, hard men in black armor. One of them spoke sharply. "Sergeant Grant." "Step aside." Leo stood, tense. "Why?" "She's to be executed at dawn," the officer said. "High Command doesn't want any alien bonds confusing our troops." Leo blocked the doorway. "That's a mistake," he said. "Orders are orders," the man growled. "She dies tomorrow." The officers turned and left, slamming the door behind them. Saria didn't flinch. She had expected this. Leo looked at her, heart pounding. "You're not afraid of death," he said. "No," she replied. "But I would prefer to fight for something." He felt a strange tightness in his chest. She didn't deserve this. She wasn't just another enemy. She was more. That night, Leo sat alone in his quarters. Unable to sleep, he kept seeing her face, hearing her voice like a shield, a blade, a life given to you. He remembered the look in her eyes when she said her name. He remembered how she stood tall even when wounded, and he knew what he had to do. Next morning, Leo entered the holding room before dawn. The guards were changing shift, perfect timing. He moved fast, using his clearance card to override the cell lock. Saria looked up as the door opened. "No time," he whispered. "Come with me." She didn't question him. She stood and followed. They moved through the base like ghosts, down into the old tunnels beneath the outpost. Tunnels most people had forgotten. Above them, the sun began to rise. Soldiers gathered for the execution, but the prisoner was gone. Ending suspense line. Saria turned to Leo in the dark. "Where are we going?" He looked back at her, eyes full of doubt and hope. "I have no idea," he said, "but we're not dying today." The old tunnels were quiet. Dust fell from the ceiling with every distant explosion. The war above hadn't stopped, but down here, it felt like the world had paused. Sergeant Leo Grant moved fast, flashlight in one hand, Flaster in the other, behind him. Saria followed in silence. Even wounded, she walked steady, focused. Every sound, every shadow she noticed. They had escaped the base just minutes before sunrise. By now the officers would have found the cell empty. By now the order to hunt them would be out. They were fugitives now. One human soldier, one alien warrior. "This tunnel leads to the old junk colony," Leo said, voice low. Saria nodded. "Safe?" "Nothing's safe," Leo replied, "but it's forgotten." He paused at a fork in the path. Checking his map device, it glitched, screen flickering. Saria stepped beside him, pointing to the right tunnel. "This way," she said. Leo looked at her, surprised. "How do you know?" "I smell water," she said. "Old rust. You don't fix machines without learning their voices." Leo smiled a little. "Guess you're more than just a sword." She didn't smile back. I was born for war, she said, but I can build too. They moved forward, deeper underground, but the path wasn't empty. The air changed, heavier, wet, and strange. Suddenly, a low growl echoed through the tunnel. Leo froze. What was that? Saria pushed him back slowly. Stay behind me, she whispered. From the shadows came a shape, a creature. Massive and twisted, its skin was metal and flesh. Part machine, part beast. Mutated by old weapons left behind, its eyes glowed green. Its mouth opened with a shriek. It charged. Leo fired. The blast hit its shoulder but didn't stop it. Saria jumped in front, grabbing a broken pipe from the wall. She moved like lightning, no fear. Only instinct. She struck the beast's leg, making it stumble, then rolled under its claws and stabbed the pipe deep into its neck. Sparks and blood sprayed the wall. The creature screamed, stumbled back and collapsed, breathing hard. Saria stood still, body tense. Leo stared at her, amazed. You saved me, he said. You are my bond, she replied simply. He shook his head. I still don't get this bond thing. It means your life matters more than mine, she said. That's how it works. Leo looked at the dead creature, then back at her. Then I'm gonna make sure you live too, he said. Hours later, the tunnel finally opened into a massive underground junkyard. Stacks of broken ships, crushed robots, and old tech stretched for miles. The junk colony, a forgotten graveyard of the last war, and maybe their best chance to disappear. They found an old cargo ship buried in the rust, its wings broken, its power core dead. Leo climbed inside, wiping dust from the controls. It's ugly, he said, but it might fly. Saria walked around the ship, running her hand across the metal. This design is old, she said, but strong. They worked together. Side by side, she repaired the stabilizers. He rewired the comm system. She found fuel cells in the junk pile. He reattached the left wing with a welding torch. They didn't talk much, but they didn't need to. Their hands moved in rhythm like they had done this before. That night, they sat inside the cargo bay, sharing dried food in silence. Saria looked up at the ceiling. I dreamed of flying when I was a child, she said. Even in a war world? Leo asked. She nodded. We had skies too. Once, Leo handed her a small photo from his pocket. A little boy and a dog, both smiling in front of a lake. That was me, he said. Saria studied it. You look happy. I was, he said. Before the draft? Before the fighting. She looked at him, her voice softer than before. I'm sorry. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, What's it like, your world? She closed her eyes. Quiet, she said. Our people speak through motion, through battle, through silence. Leo leaned back. Then why did you speak to me? Saria opened her eyes. Because you listened. A crackle of static echoed through the ship's comms. Leo rushed to the console. A message was coming through. Not from Earth, not from the Corral. A third signal, old, encrypted, and powerful. Saria stood beside him, her hand on the blade at her hip. Leo stared at the screen. This signal's from deep space, he whispered. Who the hell is watching us? Rain fell from a dark sky. Not real rain, but chemical mist dripping from the high pipes of the junk colony. The air smelled like rust and acid. Still inside the old cargo ship, Leo and Saria worked. But neither of them spoke about the signal. Not yet. Leo's hands were greasy with engine oil. The ship was almost ready, just one more day, maybe two. Then they could leave, disappear. Go somewhere without war, without orders, without blood. But peace never came easy. Far above on the edge of the colony, someone watched them, silent, deadly, and patient. He was not human, he was Corel, and not just any warrior. He was a shadow hunter. His name was Vecron, and he was Saria's brother. He had followed her scent across 3 war zones, ignored commands, ignored treaties, because for the Corel, betrayal by blood was the deepest wound. And Saria had chosen a human over her people. That could not be forgiven. He placed a hand on the earth, felt the vibration of engines below. He would wait until night, then strike. Inside the ship, Saria moved quietly through the engine room. She felt strange. Her muscles were strong, her training sharp, but her heart, as it was heavy. She hadn't told Leo everything. Not about the bond, not about the Corel code, and definitely not about her brother. She had seen the signs and claw marks, broken scrap, disturbed dust. Vecron was close and he would come for her, not for talk but for judgment. Leo entered with a tired smile. Fuel's holding, he said. Stabilizer's good. If nothing explodes tonight, we can leave tomorrow. Saria didn't smile. We may not have tomorrow, she said. Leo raised an eyebrow. Okay, he said. Now I'm listening. She sat down across from him. Slowly she spoke. In my culture, if a warrior bonds with an enemy, she must face the circle of blood. Sounds friendly, Leo said, trying to ease the tension. She continued. If her clan rejects her bond, her bloodkin hunts her. Leo's smile faded. Your family sent someone? My brother, she said. His name is Vecron. Leo's jaw tightened. And you think he's here? I know he is, she said. He never misses. Later that night, the wind howled through broken towers. Leo stood guard outside the ship, eyes scanning the shadows. He held his blaster close, nerves sharp. Then, a whisper of movement, he turned, and too slow. A shape dropped from the metal wall. Slamming into him, Leo hit the ground hard, weapon sliding out of reach before he could move. A foot pressed down on his chest. A tall Corel, cloaked in dark armor, stood over him, eyes glowing, blade ready. You are the human, Vecron said. The one she protects? Leo didn't answer. He just stared up, waiting, then Saria's voice rang out behind them. Vecron, stop! Vecron turned slowly. Sister, he said, voice cold. You shame us, Saria stepped forward. No weapon drawn. I made my choice, she said. You chose a human over your people, Vecron growled. You broke the code. I followed the deeper code, she replied. Honor, not hate. Vecron stepped off Leo. Turning fully to face her, he drew two blades, crossing them in front of his chest. There is only one way to clean a broken bond, he said. I know, Saria said softly. She raised her arms. No blades, no shield. I won't fight you, Leo scrambled up, shocked. What are you doing? This is how we settle dishonor, she said. Not looking at him, Vecron moved fast, blades slashing. But at the last second, Saria dodged, grabbing one of his arms, twisting it. She disarmed him in 3 moves. Fast as lightning. She didn't strike again. She dropped the blade and stepped back. Breathing hard, eyes locked on her brother. I will not kill you, she said, but I will not return. Vecron picked up his weapon slowly. Blood on his lip, pride wounded. You are no longer Corel, he said. You are dead to us. Then he vanished into the shadows. Aftermath. Leo and Saria sat on the edge of the ship. The night was still, the wind quieter now. You didn't kill him, Leo said. No, she whispered. But I lost my place. Leo looked at her. Then make a new one, he said. Here with me. Suddenly the ship's console lit up. The strange signal had returned. Louder now, closer. It was not a warning. It was a location. Blinking on the star map, Leo leaned closer. This signal. It's calling us. Saria stared at the map, eyes wide. That place, she said, was destroyed 1,000 years ago. The old cargo ship hummed softly. Its lights flickered one by one. Then the star map glowed bright. Not just data now, but a path. A location pulsed red on the screen. Not Earth, not Corel space. Something else, something hidden. Leo stared at it, his fingers frozen above the controls. That place doesn't exist, he whispered. Saria stood beside him, her face pale in the glow. It was erased long ago, she said. A battlefield where no one won. Leo looked at her. Then why is it calling us? She didn't answer. Because the truth was, she didn't know. All she knew was one thing. That place was cursed. Hours later. They were flying now. The ship groaned as it lifted through the sky, leaving the junk colony behind. Leo's hands gripped the controls. He was a soldier, not a pilot, but the ship responded like it knew where to go. Saria sat in silence, watching the stars blur outside. She had fought all her life, for her people, for her code. Now, for the first time, She was flying toward the unknown. Not for war, but for answers. The signal pulsed again. This time a voice followed, broken, echoing, ancient. It spoke in neither human nor Corel language, and yet they both understood it. Unity protocol active, it said. Bond confirmed. Coordinates aligned. Leo looked at Saria. Bond confirmed? He said. Is this still about that weird warrior tradition? Saria's eyes narrowed. No, she said. This is older. Something deeper than Corel code. The ship jumped into hyperspace, engines roaring, and the stars vanished. Later, in the dark of space. They sat across from each other in the small dining cabin. Leo pushed food around on his tray, not hungry. What happens if we follow this? He asked. Saria answered slowly. We may find knowledge, or death. Leo gave a tired laugh. Comforting. She watched him, quiet for a moment. You joke to hide fear, she said. I joke to survive. Leo replied. And right now this doesn't feel survivable. She leaned forward. I don't regret saving you. Leo's voice dropped. Do you regret bonding with me? She looked at him. Her voice was softer than he had ever heard it. I regret nothing. The silence between them changed. No longer tense. Not quite safe, but human. Sudden alarm, a sharp beep broke the quiet. They ran to the control room. On the screen, a ship following them, not Corel, not human, something else. It was sleek, black, with a glowing blue core. It didn't fire. It didn't speak. It just followed. Leo's hand hovered over the defense controls. Should I blast it? Saria shook her head. No, she said. It's not attacking. Then what is it doing? It's watching. The signal pulsed again. Louder. Urgent. Then the unknown ship vanished from radar. Gone. Like smoke in the wind. Leo swallowed hard. This is starting to feel like bait. Saria nodded slowly. Then let's find out who's holding the trap. Arrival. The ship dropped out of hyperspace. They had reached the signal's origin, but what they saw made them freeze. A massive structure floated in space. Broken, ancient, glowing faintly. It was not a station, not a base. It was a tomb. Saria whispered. That's the Ark of Silence. Leo looked confused. Sounds friendly. It was a peace ship, she explained. Created before the wars to unite species through shared knowledge. Leo frowned. So what happened? No one knows, she said. It vanished, like a ghost. Now it stood before them, open, waiting. Their ship drifted toward it like it had a mind of its own. Inside the Ark, the cargo ship docked slowly, its metal belly pressing against the ancient entrance. They stepped out, blasters ready, hearts racing. No one came, no sound, only empty halls lit by pale green light. Carvings lined the walls. Images of humans, Corel, and other species long forgotten. Together, learning, building, not fighting. Then, deeper in, they found the source of the signal. A control room with a glowing orb floating above a pedestal. It pulsed as they entered, recognizing them, reacting to their presence. A voice echoed again, calm and old. Bond confirmed, it said. Human and Corel united. Unlocking path to memory. Suddenly, lights flashed. The room shook. A hidden door opened, revealing a crystal map, not just of the galaxy, but of hidden worlds, ancient tech, lost civilizations. Leo stared, stunned. This could end the war. Saria's voice was barely a whisper, or start a new one. Behind them, a shadow moved. A figure stepped out from the dark, cloaked, masked, not human, not Corel, something in between. You answered the call. the figure said. But are you ready for what comes next? The figure stepped closer. Silent boots echoing in the ancient hall. Leo raised his blaster, hands tight, heart pounding. Saria stood still, her breath slow, eyes sharp. The stranger removed their hood. A face appeared, half human, half something else. Metal lines ran across the skin, glowing faintly, eyes that shimmered between blue and gold. I am Kale, the figure said, last speaker of the Ark. Leo kept the weapon up. Are you a prisoner? He asked. Kale shook their head. I am the Watcher, they replied. For centuries I've waited for a bond like yours. Saria stepped forward. You sent the signal. Kyle nodded. The Ark was never truly lost. It hid, waiting for a sign of unity. You and the human answered that call. Leo lowered his blaster slowly. This was never about just us, he said. It was a test. Kale gestured to the crystal map. You hold the key to something greater than peace, knowledge, power, memory. But it comes with danger. Saria narrowed her eyes. Danger from who? Kale's voice darkened. From those who fear change. The war leaders, human and Corel alike. They will not allow this unity to live. Leo looked at Saria. And they know we're here. Kale nodded once. They always knew. Moments later, the Ark's walls shook. An alarm pulsed red across the ceiling. Kale turned toward the control panel. They've found you, they said. 2 fleets, human and Corel, coming fast. Leo ran to the console. We have weapons? No, Kale replied. The Ark was built for peace. Saria looked at Leo. If we stay, they destroy this place. If we run, they destroy each other. Leo added. Kale walked toward the map. There is one path, they said. A broadcast. Leo frowned. A message? Kale nodded. Live. To both sides. To the galaxy. Show them who you are. Conflict outside. In orbit above the Ark. Warships gathered. Human vessels on one side. Cold. Gray. Weapon-heavy Corel destroyers on the other. Black, sleek, humming with power. Commanders shouted, preparing to fire. No one trusted the Ark. No one trusted each other. Back inside, Saria stood before the ancient crystal. It pulsed with her presence. Recognizing her DNA, Leo stood beside her, his hand resting on the console. Kyle adjusted the settings, preparing the signal. You will speak, they said. Together. Leo looked at the camera, then at Saria. He took a breath. Let's do it, he said. Saria nodded. For the choice. The light turned green. The broadcast began. The message. To all who can hear this, Leo began. I am Sergeant Leo Grant, human. I am Saria of the Corel, she continued. We stand here not as enemies, but as something new. Leo's voice was firm. We were taught to hate, taught to fight, taught to kill. But that's not all we are. Saria spoke next, her voice clear and strong. I broke my code to save a life. But in doing so, I found truth. This Ark holds knowledge, Leo said. Truth hidden by fear. Secrets that could unite us or destroy us. Saria stepped closer. Today, we choose to share it. Not with governments, but with the people. Leo ended the message. If you want peace, listen. If you want war, come and see who we've become. The screen went dark. The message echoed through space. No longer secret, no longer silent. Outside, reaction command ships paused. Soldiers stared at screens. Pilots froze, fingers off their triggers, across both fleets. Silence spread, followed by confusion, then whispers. Some wanted to fire anyway. Others hesitated. A crack had formed. A choice was opening. Back in the Arco looked at Leo and Saria. You have done something impossible. We told the truth, Leo said. Saria looked at the stars outside. But now we wait. Kale turned away. No, they said. You run. Why? Leo asked. Kale pointed to the map. There is a planet. Old. Hidden. Those who believe in peace have gathered there in secret. They will protect you if you make it. Leo nodded. We'll go. Saria placed her hand on the console one last time. The Ark belongs to everyone now, she said. As they entered their ship preparing to flee, a message came through the old comms. Not from the human fleet, not from the Corel, but from a third voice, one that chilled them both. I saw your message, it said. And now, I'm coming for you. Leo froze. Who the hell was that? Saria looked at the stars ahead. Someone who fears what we've started. The stars burned quiet above the fleeing ship. Inside, Leo stood at the cockpit, eyes locked on the radar. A red dot followed them, steady, slow, and merciless. Whoever had sent that last message was closing in. Saria sat beside him, her hands tight on the edge of the console. This is not the human fleet, she said. It's not Corel either. Leo narrowed his eyes. Then who? Saria didn't answer, but her voice grew colder. Something older. Flashback. Inside the Ark. Minutes before launch. Kyle had pulled Leo aside, their voice low. There are forces beyond your war, they had said. Those who thrive on division, on fear. They created the conflict between your species that they will not let you spread unity. Leo didn't fully understand. But the warning was clear. You won't just be hunted by soldiers, Kale had said. You'll be hunted by the architects of war itself. Present, the enemy ship came into view. It wasn't like any design Leo had seen. Smooth, curved like bone, glowing from the inside. Living metal pulsing, it drifted beside them, then fired. The blast hit their wing. Not enough to destroy. But a warning inside the cockpit, alarm screamed. They're playing with us, Leo said. They want us afraid. Saria stood, her face hard. Then we give them something else. Desperate maneuver, Leo took control. Diving into a meteor field, sharp rocks spun past. Glowing with heat, the enemy followed. Fast and silent inside their ship. Systems shut down one by one. Engines overheated, shields flickered. We won't make it to the hidden world, Leo said. We won't even make it out of this belt. Saria looked at the emergency core panel. There's one chance, she said. A manual jump, not through the drive. Through the Ark's code, Leo frowned. You downloaded it? Saria nodded. In my blood, she sat at the control hub. Slicing her palm, her glowing blood touched the core. The ship lit up, but not with engine power. With memory, a path opened, a wormhole shaped by light. Not gravity, Leo grabbed the controls. Hold on, he said, and they jumped. The hidden world, they crashed into orbit, not hard. But fast, the ship burned through cloud and fire. Below them, a green world waited, untouched, unknown. They landed in a valley of stone and water. Smoke rose from the engines, but they were alive. Leo crawled from the cockpit, coughing. We're here, he said. I think. Saria stepped out beside him. Her armor cracked. Her eyes searched the sky. No one's chasing. Then, a soft wind and a voice. You made it. Out of the trees came beings of many shapes, Corel. Humans. Others neither of them had seen before. Kale stepped forward from the group. Welcome to Haven, they said. Reunion and warning, they were taken to a high tower. Overlooking the forest, Leo and Saria were given time to rest. Eat. Heal. But the peace didn't last. Kale met them again that night. There's a price for survival, they said. The architects of war will not stop. They fear what you represent, Saria asked. What do we do? Kale replied, You stand. The final confrontation. The sky darkened. The bone ship returned, faster. Angrier this time, it did not wait, it opened fire. The Haven defenses activated. Shields made from Arc tech. Beams of light shot into the sky. But the enemy was powerful. Born from the oldest war, Leo stood at the front line. Holding a pulse rifle, Saria beside him. Sword in hand, armor reforged. I'm not a soldier anymore, Leo said. But I'll die like one. Saria looked at him. You won't die, she said. Not today. Together. They ran forward as the enemy landed. Metal creatures poured out, twisted forms, part machine, part fear. But the defenders held. Leo fought with fire, Saria moved like lightning, each covering the other back to back, heart to heart. The turning point, Kale activated the arc code beacon. A light exploded into the sky. A message pulsed across space. Every human ship, every Corel base, every corner of the galaxy saw it. The truth came that the war was a lie, a tool, controlled, designed. And just like that, and the war began to end. Aftermath. The enemy ship was destroyed. The creators of conflict beaten, not by fire, but by truth. Leo and Saria stood in the ruins. Breathing hard. You were right, Leo said. About what? This was never just about survival, he replied. It was about choosing something better. Saria smiled for the first time in days. You chose me, she said. Leo chuckled. I did. She leaned closer. And now I choose you. They looked at the stars above. Not as soldier and alien, but as something new. Leo whispered, so what now? Saria took his hand. Now, she said, we build the future.